everybody, to the Flower Files. We are here this evening with one of our, I don't want to say favorite because we shouldn't say favorite.
Well, I mean, but we do say favorite. Like, remember when she was here? Like, it was just so much better. Remember that one time?
Do you remember those boots that she wore? So our guest tonight is the one, the only, the infamous, famous Allie Yoder. Yay! Super excited. I'm super excited to have her here this evening because I have known Allie since she was like this sweet, quiet little girl with a huge smile, adorable curls, and according to Lizzie,
one of the best party throwers ever for birthday. And just had the best cupcakes, and we played softball together, and it's just crazy how we've been able to come like full circle in like so many different ways. And I'm so thankful that it's with Allie because you were always the nice girl.
Well, softball, I remember you rolling around in the dirt. You were the catcher. You were like the first base person, second base person. Like, it didn't matter. You were always that like, Allie can do it. Allie can do it. It was just awesome. Mm-hmm. Awesome. But fast forward a little bit. You are now adulting. You've graduated from Alabama University in event planning, which I guess technically is considered hospitality management. Mm-hmm. And considering you always had the best birthday parties and the best cupcakes, you kind of,
it fits.
100%. 100%. So welcome, Allie.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. I am so excited.
When I texted you, I was like, well, we were running through the list of like all of the people of like what to do and who to talk to. And I was like, oh my God, we can talk to Allie. So that's when I texted you and I was like, Allie!
It's an excuse for us to catch up.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great excuse. Very great excuse. It's nice just to like see you and
yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I think about way back when you were with us. How many years ago now was that?
It would have been the year going into my senior year of college. So all 3 years almost?
I think it was three.
I think it's confusing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that makes me feel old.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we're going to go over through like a couple questions. We have 5 of them written down, and then as other stuff comes up, we'll just kind of like dial back and go back and forth and do all the things. So the first one that the 3 of us came up with is, what is it like in Texas compared to here? Because I've never traveled there. She has. Amber, I don't think you have. But what's it like?
I think the biggest difference is the heat. It's a different kind of heat. Maryland is wet and it's humid and it's a different kind of heat here. It's a dry heat. So it can be 109 degrees, which it was a lot this summer, and you're not sweating at all. You walk around and you're fine and your hair's still in place. And while you could never, ever do that in Maryland, even at like 85 degrees. I think that is one of the biggest things that I noticed.
Well, there's no clear top tents used at that time of year.
Yeah, that is also true. There's not many outside events in general in Texas in the summer. So that helps a lot, is that because it's so hot, no one even wants to be outside. So it's a different kind of vibe. I think I guess I eased into the South because I went from Maryland to Alabama, then to Texas. So I kind of had a taste of what the South was like and different things. But Texas is very different than Alabama in a lot of ways. They're both like considered the South, but Texas is, I would say, more modern than Alabama ever was. So
interesting. Are they both sweet tea places, or is like one more?
So Alabama is a big sweet tea place, but Texas is not.
What?
Yeah, I think Texas is more like alcohol more than
yeah. I know that much. There are a couple influencers. I'm like, oh, okay.
And even though I think the biggest shocker to me was not living in Texas, I always thought Texas was huge, which it is. It's huge. But all the major cities are within 2 hours of Austin. So because I live in Austin, I am 3 hours from Dallas, 3 hours from Houston, and an hour from San Antonio. So I have events in all 3 cities, and I traveled with them pretty regularly.
Is there one that you like doing events in better than another? Like, is the vibe different?
Yes. Yeah. You're in like 3 different like countries when you go to these different places.
Wow.
Dallas is super like swanky. There's a lot of like old money in Dallas. So when you go there, it's very different than when you go to like Houston, which is more, I mean, Houston itself is just 3 different cities within one city because it's so large. Um, but then San Antonio is more like blue collar, and then Austin is super like liberal. So very different vibes from everywhere in Texas.
Is
Wow.
there one venue that sticks out for you that you're like, oh my gosh, I love this one, or one that you're like, oh, I still want to work at this one? Like,
So I work a lot with the Four Seasons hotels. So I always love Four Seasons. They're great to work with. They're always so pretty. And so every time you walk in, you're like, it just smells rich in here. It just smells like they know what they're doing. It just smells great. But I think those are my favorite venues to work with just because it's so consistent. Everything is the same every time and you know what you're getting. Other than that, off-site venues, there's a few like wineries outside of Austin. There's a place called Fredericksburg, and it's called the Texas Wine Country. So there's a few like really cutesy venues out there. But with my job, I work majority with hotels. So there's certain hotel brands that I like more than others, but it just depends.
interesting. I feel like hotels here are underutilized. Everybody's tent on the water and on the bay and backyard, and it's a totally, and barns. Oh my gosh, barn. That's just, I mean, it fits. It totally fits.
Yeah, I think it definitely depends on where you're at, especially when I go to like a Houston or even in Austin and sometimes in Dallas. It's very city venues. So it's rooftops, it's industrial buildings, it's things like that, which are the like go-to venues.
So are there traditions that are different, or are there certain things that you see that are the same, East Coast versus?
You're like, oh, that would never happen back at home.
I think the attire is the thing that like stands out to me the most. People wear cowboy hats like unironically, like they actually wear those like out and about, like in their day-to-day lives, and they have different hats for like different events. Like I just did a casino night a few weeks ago, and it's a black tie event, and they wore cowboy hats and huge belt buckles, and this is their like everyday attire. Which like I walk in and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he wore that. And everybody who works with me who's from Texas is like, yeah, he probably wears that like every day. So I think attire's the biggest thing that I notice. I feel like,
girl, I know attire is one of the things that like you watch and you know, because when we did that flower bar at that golf course, we were on the second floor and we could look down and see all the ladies, and you're like, that's that designer and that's that designer, but look at that designer. I've never seen that dress. And I was like, they're closed. I'm not speaking this language.
that is like my forte. The casino night I just did, it's all family lawyers. So a lot of them are divorced and those kinds of lawyers, and they all come in these amazing gowns, and I'm always like so like taken aback, and I'm there in my little like Amazon dress that I have to wear. But I love it, and like I wear cowboy boots now that I live here, and I think it's more in trend now. But like these people wear like they have their nice boots, and they have their work boots, and they have like different things that
I want to come out and see you.
It's so much fun. I didn't notice this. This is another thing that's different from Texas. But my best friend who lives in Florida, when she came to visit me a few weeks ago, she noticed how brown Texas is because nothing can live here. So the grass is dead. Like when you look out, like all the trees
are dead. Though, aren't there?
There are, but not in the city, like where I'm at.
Yeah.
But you like look around and there's no like blue. And then I went to Alabama last weekend and I had never noticed it. And then I went to Alabama and I was like, oh my God, there's color. Like the leaves are like orange and yellow, and you just don't get that here because if anything can stand through, it's green, or like it's not colorful, which is really interesting.
Wow. That's so weird because you're used to like Four Seasons and you know all of the trees and the flowers and all of the stuff.
And like even like in my apartment complex, some people have tried to like grow flowers on their balconies, and it's just as soon as they get out there, they like swelter up and they're done.
They're like, yep, no, we did.
So I guess there's not a lot of garden centers out there then?
Not really. I pass one on the way to work every day, but it is not flowers. It's like shrubs and things that can like stand the heat. But flowers, not really. But we don't really have like seasons. It goes summer and it's super, super hot. I mean, it's still 80 degrees here today. And then
we were in the 70s today.
Oh, wow.
I know. But it's going to be in the 30s like 2 days from now. So
yeah.
And then at like December, we get one freeze, and the freeze is so weird. Nothing I've ever experienced. It's not snow, and it's ice, but it's like an ice that covers everything. It covers buildings. It covers like the road. It covers your car. It is so strange, and it happens for 1 week every year, and then we're in summer again.
Oh, so you don't have like a summer coat? Summer coat. Yeah. Nobody has a summer coat. I mean a winter coat.
And I actually was looking for my winter coat the other day, and I was like, oh, I left it at mom and dad's because that is literally the only time I need it is
yeah. That's crazy.
Oh
Crazy. Oh. So when you worked with us, we're going to say a couple years ago, right? We'll just call it a couple years. Yeah, a couple of years ago. As you said, you were a senior. And we were still learning. I mean, we learn every year, but we definitely were still learning. And
a lot.
Yeah.
We learned a lot that year.
I still picture you in the back of that U-Haul van trying to hold it together. I was like, I'm breaking the law. I was like, oh my God. And the storm was coming and like everything was happening. You walked around, you're like, can I help? I was like, don't talk to me. I need 2 minutes. I've got to fix this. What are some things that you learned working with us that have given you an edge compared to maybe somebody else who's never worked with a florist?
Hey guys, Lizzie here. I bet you didn't know this about me, but I am gluten-free, and one of the things that I struggle with is going to the grocery store and finding the foods that fit my dietary needs. What I have been doing for the past couple of months is ordering from Hungryroot. Now, Hungryroot is an online company where you can order groceries off of their website. It's full of produce, crackers, cookies, to muffins, to meats, and all the different types of snacks and things like that. They have made my life so much easier in the process of finding foods that fit my dietary needs. There are filters that you can adjust, such as non-GMO, dairy-free, gluten-free, paleo, different preferences and things like that. So what they have done for us, because they're such a generous company, the Hungryroot team has given us a 40% off discount code on your first box. So if you use the code FLOWER40, and that's capital FLOWER 40 at checkout, you will get 40% off your first box. I'm so excited to team up with these guys. They've made such an impact on my life in the morning and to my day-to-day life, and I hope you experience the exact same thing that I do. All of the information will be linked down below, including the link to where it should already be pre-applied to your cart when you hit the link and go to their website, and I will also add the code at the bottom for easy access in our show notes. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and enjoy your first box through Hungryroot.
Well, this is a very niche, and I'll get into the bigger things later. But I think like when I see floral arrangements at certain events, I'm like, oh, they shouldn't have done it like that. They shouldn't have layered it that way. They should have like I always think like I'm thinking in a mind that most people don't have. But I think one of the biggest things that has helped me is when things go wrong, I have solutions that other people don't. We now, my company uses like the green, like flower, the stuff you stick the flowers in.
The Oasis, the squishy stuff.
Yeah. For a bunch of things now. We use like fishing wire for a lot of things, like different things that you guys had taught me that I would have never known going into this industry without it. And it's just like background knowledge and things of that nature that have really helped me. And I think too, just problem solving in a small environment, because my company isn't huge. I think it's about 20 people. So working together in a small environment and learning together, because my company is 20 years old, but still we're we're learning as we go. So I think that has really helped me.
If you're not learning, you're stagnant and you're dying.
Mhm.
You have to learn, you have to adapt. I mean, that's part of it. That's
Yeah.
part of what makes it work.
Yeah, and trends are always changing. Things in the event world are always changing. So being able to adapt to those changes and kind of come up with solutions on the fly, which you guys do all the time. So I think
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I don't know how many times. Well, we had a beautiful wedding down at the Tidewater. Absolutely gorgeous. There is a great big huge stone outside fireplace, fire pit. There's a what do they call that? A never ending pool where it just constantly goes, and a sculpture, and it's gorgeous. And they had this whole thing for the mantle, and the mantle is like way above your head because everything there is just huge. And it was probably the windiest day on record for the entire year. And I was like, okay, but it's protected. It's behind like I think it's the chop tank that's right behind it. Literally the river had white caps. Like it was that windy.
Yeah.
It was so bad. And I'm down there by myself, which was fine because it was a simple setup. But I had everything set up inside, and I had gone outside, and they were like, the guys want to get their pictures half an hour early. I was like, no problem. And then inside, I'm like, okay, I'm going to run.
Yeah.
I got this. I got the whole mantle set. There were 3 distinct pieces that went up on it, had all the florals tucked in between so you couldn't see it. It was blowing a little bit here and there. It was gusting. I was like, this is going to be okay. Allie, there's a gust of wind that came, and it took the whole thing. The whole thing went whoop, all over the floor. I had Oasis that shattered. Like it was everywhere. And I stood there and I looked at it. I looked at the mantle and I looked at it and went, cool, we're going to set it up in front of the fireplace. So I just wrapped it in front of the fireplace because I was like, if I put this back up, even if I tie it down with wire and fishing line and all of that kind of
or
stuff,
tape or God only knows what,
whatever it would have taken, if that blows off, that was knocking people out.
Yeah.
Like, no way.
You think you're in the clear, that it goes wrong. Like you're always like, okay, I did everything that I can do. It's gonna stay, and then it doesn't.
Yeah, you watch it from like afar. You're like, fuck.
Like, for a few minutes, you're like, okay, let's figure it out.
Yeah, I feel like wind, people have all of these images on Pinterest. They're like, oh, this is my vision. And I'm like, okay, that's great. But that is lit candles in this beautiful setting, tapers, and you're in a tent on the water. There is zero chance of that actually working.
I think that's the majority of my job is talking people off the Pinterest ledge.
Yeah.
Worked for them. That will not work for you.
No. Even if it's like, I feel like those moments are caught by like an accident where there's not a fart of wind like in sight, and then it just works for them, like you said.
Or it's
like,
inside.
It's just a thing. Yeah, and you're like, I don't think that's gonna work very well.
Yeah, and it's hard too when they put you on the spot. You're like, okay, we can't do that, but let's come up with something else. Like let's come up with a different solution of what we can do that's gonna be similar but not the same. That we can do it so that works for everyone, which is a skill.
Oh, I still hit the budget.
Yeah.
Always hit the budget. How does the speed of the event world, because you know what it's like up here, you have a specific time you can get in, you've got to get all the stuff set up, you've got to coordinate with the caterers, you've got to coordinate with the planners, like I don't think sometimes that works. I don't think people realize sometimes all of the parts that have to work together.
Yeah, and all the people.
Yes. Yeah. Like you've taken all of this time for this vision and all of that kind of stuff. And in those last final, 3 hours before the ceremony, it's shit or get off the pot kind of thing. It's how is that different there?
So I work primarily with nonprofit organizations. So my events go from anywhere from, a small 20-person clay shoot to a 1,000-person gala. So it very differs by thousands of people.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it is intense. And especially when you're working, I'll have a clay shoot on Monday and then the gala on Friday. So like it's coordinating like all the pieces that go together. But I think the biggest thing is communication. You have to have communication with the caterers, and you need to make sure everyone is on the same page and everyone agrees to the same thing. Because what I learned super early in my career is you can think you're on the same page as everyone, but if they say the caterer wants to set up at noon and you're like, no, you cannot set up until 3, that caterer is going to show up at noon. So I think figuring out like middle ground for everyone to be on the same page is really important. And also knowing the size of your event. Am I going to be as strict on certain timelines with my 25-person clay shoot? Not as much. Am I going to be very strict on my 1,000-person gala? Yeah, I'm going to be a drill sergeant. So it really is dependent on what's going on, who the event's for. And some clients, I work for a management company, but I have 5 clients who are my own clients. So it also depends on the client. Some client is like, well, if we go over cocktail hour, that's fine. And we'll be up late anyway. So if we go past midnight, it's not that big of a deal. And then we have other people that are like, if we don't start cocktail hour at 6 p.m., I'm going to lose it. So I think like there's just certain people, you need to know your audience. You need to know what's going on, when's going on, and coordinating all of the different things. And thankfully, like I said, I work with a lot of hotels. So a lot of it is in-house. So the AV people, everyone is pretty much works for the hotel. So it's coordinating with everyone inside the hotel.
How do you keep up with the grind? Like, what are some things that you do to take care of you? Because I'm sorry, I look at planners in awe. You guys put everything together. Like we work with folks to do whatever the event is, but it's kind of like A Bug's Life. We come, they eat, they leave kind of theory. Like we do the flowers, we get to drop off, we get to see everything put together, and then we're finished. We're not there until
unless we're paid otherwise.
Yeah. But we're not god awful hours of the night dealing with the drunk people, dealing with like I don't know how you do it.
Uncomfortable, like
you're young and cute and like, oh,
I'll have to tell you guys about a drunk person later, but I thankfully work for a really, really great company, and one of their like mottos is you work hard, you play hard. So though I work crazy hours and I travel a lot and I do different things, I also get 4 weeks vacation that I can take at any time. And so I think that's really how we offset it. A lot of the time I can't take the 4 weeks vacation because I have so many events going on and we work. I mean, I'm planning out events to 2027. So we work in such a constant cycle that
I'm excited for 2025.
Yeah.
My brain is never on 2023. I had a 2023 event last 2 weeks ago, and I kept writing 2024 on all my forms because my brain is already in events in 2024. So because we work on that cycle, it's because we plan so far out, it's easy to plan like things for my personal life. So I know like one of my clients is always going to have an event in January and July. I have another client who's always going to have it in May and September. The weeks might change, but it's always going to be in that cycle. So I am able to I went to Aruba for a week and a half this year. I went and saw all of my best friends from college. Like I was able to do things which refueled my battery. And thankfully, none of my events are super back-to-back. My spring is crazy, but other than that, nothing is super back-to-back that I can take off that time.
How's your fall, though? Because fall for us is like...
crack.
Yeah, it's almost frantic.
Yeah.
So fall is big for galas and casino nights. So I have 2 of them. So I only do those. But spring is really big for conferences, and I do 8 of those. Last year, between the months of the last week in March to the first week in May, I was home a total of 2 days that entire time because that's when all my clients want to do their events. So I was in Minnesota, and then I was in New York, and then I was in Houston, and then I was in Dallas, and then I had 2 events in Austin. And I was home for a singular weekend, and then I was back running again. But then I pretty much got to take the whole summer off. So it's a lot of craziness, but then all that craziness comes with a lot of things that can, nurture my social battery.
Wow. God, and you have to have all the clothes and all of the stuff for all of those places. but you have to have them with you, and you're traveling on top. Man, I'd love to see your suitcase.
Literally, that was my like grown up gift to myself, was buying new nice suitcases, because I could never go home. And it got to the point in the spring where I had to do laundry at hotels because I just I could not pack enough clothes that I could have an outfit for each day. But yeah, that weekend that I got home, I was like, okay, I need to clean my house and I need to do laundry. And other than that, I am sleeping because there's nothing else I can do. I can't go buy groceries because they're going to go bad by the time I get back. So it's just like in that like time, it's really like fight or flight. It's like, okay, well, I need to do this and we're going to do this. But by the time I get home, and I even told my boss this a few weeks ago, it's very like, I would rather it be like that. I'd rather it be go, 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 go. And then I have a second to breathe and crash, rather than one event and then I have a breath, and then another event and I have a breath. Like, I'd rather just go hard and then take a 2-week vacation.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So another question that we have, what kind of trends are you seeing that are going to come up in the future, and how are you prepping for those? Because for us, even just in the flower world, like, I mean, there's two, blue and white, at least on the Eastern Shore, and pampas grass. Blue and white hasn't been as big for us this year. When you were with us, and last year, it was all that we did. It was blue and white. But we're seeing a lot of like more color and wildflower, a lot of like peaches, black and white, still green and white as always, but there's a lot of more like diversity. And even with the like the decor, like all of it, if it's green and white, they have like some crazy disco ball thing, like it's just, it's wild.
Yeah, I totally agree. Traditional is going out. It was traditional for the last like few years. Like, it was very, not a lot of color, a lot of white, a lot of black. Like, it was very neutral. And I think that is completely turning. I'm seeing a lot more themes. I'm seeing a lot more sequence. I'm seeing a lot more color. I think we're totally flipping the script. And I also think that's a generational thing. I think we're going from millennials doing events to now Gen Z throwing these events. So it's very, very different. I mean, I just did a gala, and for 17 years, it was just traditional, black tie, no theme. And then this year they decided they wanted to make it Alice in Wonderland. And okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
So, and then my casino night a few weeks ago, it was glitzy casino, because before that it was just black tie, and now they wanted people to wear sparkles. They wanted people to have the big shoes and things of that nature. So I think we're seeing a huge flip from one extreme to the next. The thing I think with this extreme, and it may be my personal opinion, I think it's going to go out as fast as it comes in. I think it's too, and maybe gaudy isn't the right word, but it's too flashy. I don't think it's going to stay for very long. I think it may stay for another year, and then we'll see another trend come on.
Yeah. We've had we had like 2 or 3 weddings that were very like 70s vibes, so like orange and purple and magenta and like screaming colors.
They didn't have chargers, they had records.
Yeah.
Whoa, interesting.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. There's a lot more like
personalization.
Yeah, which I'm so thankful for. Like, thank God. And a lot more dogs. A lot of dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, I think events now are more standing out from each other. They're not like, a few years ago I could do an event and not even think about it because I'm doing basically the same event for a different client every week. Well, this week it's so different. It's such a different vibe going on.
So what's your favorite thing that you're doing right now?
Well, I just got done with my casino night, which is my favorite event every year. Like I said, it's for family lawyers, and they do a live auction during it. And during this live auction, people spend money that I can't even wrap my head around at these things. And I'm in the back of the room and watching somebody drop an amount on a winery that's more than I make in a year is a very, very crazy feeling. And to know that I coordinate everything on the back end. So to know that half of these people don't even take the trips that they bid on. They do it, 1, because it's a good cause, and 2, for the tax write-off. So I think I love just standing in the back of the room and seeing people and being like, I will never know money like that in my entire life. I will never just, be at a casino night and raise my paddle and say, yeah, I'm going to spend $60,000 on a trip to Lake Travis, which if this event happens in Houston, Lake Travis is in Austin. So I'm going to spend $60,000 to travel 3 hours. I will never, ever, ever understand it. But it is the first time I thought I was going to pass out. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I love anything that like has to do with people spending money. I think it's so fascinating watching these people just live their lives.
Like human behavior, that human element of like what made them pick that.
Yeah. Or like when I had a meeting with this nonprofit's like chair, and we were talking about table placements of where we were going to see people. And she knew, she was like, this person's going to spend the most money. And because they all do it. They go from one event to the next. I'm like, okay, well, what makes you, well, one, do you have enough money that you can spend $60,000 at all of these events? Or two, what makes one event like live auction better than another? And fall is really big for nonprofit events, really big for fundraising. And so we have to put out our live auction items to these people like months and months in advance, because they're planning on which one are they going to buy, which nonprofit event are they going to spend the most money at. And a lot of the time, unfortunately, it has nothing to do with the nonprofit and everything to do with who they know. And a lot of it is ego. So it's one lawyer against another lawyer. And if they're up in court against each other in real life, they're also going to bid against each other things, which is insane to me. But I think those are always super fun. Another thing I really like right now is we're doing a lot of travel. So I'm going to Utah next year, which I would have never probably gone to Utah on my own, but I'm going to Utah, I'm going to New Orleans. I'm going to a bunch of different places. So I'm really excited about that.
That's amazing. I love that. So back to the like infamous COVID, how have like people's expectations changed since then? Like, is it just back to normal, I guess? Because you have like bigger events than we probably ever will. Don't get me wrong, and I'm okay with that. But still, like for us, it has shifted a little bit. Like, it's still like a thing, but it's not. Some people act like nothing ever happened, and then you can tell that there are some people that are still like super hesitant, and then don't like. You can just tell it's like you step and they like step back. Like, it's like a whole thing. But with watching people in like masses that you have, like, how do those rich people care? Do they not care?
I don't see it as much like on the front end of things. I don't see like attendees wearing masks or them limiting capacity or anything like that. I see it mostly on the back end of planning. So we just can't do things that we could have done beforehand. We can't fill a ballroom to max capacity anymore. We can't, and now it's not only just because of COVID. Now fire regulations are more evident. Things that could fly before COVID will not fly anymore. And I think I also see it in the aftermath of COVID. So because we're in a recession right now and just prices are crazy, we're seeing a 25% increase on all food and beverage across the board. So people are having to raise their budgets. You can't get away with I had to fight with a client, not fight, that's not the right word. I had to discuss with a client. With a client earlier today, because we were talking about their budget, and they have a 4-day event and they only wanted to budget $100,000 for food. And though $100,000 sounds like a lot for food, that's not going to get them anywhere. That might get them 2 days for food. That's not, if you want to do an open bar, that's even more. So just food in general is crazy right now. We're even looking at like hotel room rates. So a lot of my groups do room blocks. And from just this year to next year, we have a room block, same hotel, same dates, same everything. The room rate this year is going to be $189. Next year, it's going to be $250. So for the same hotel, same everything. So just price in general has gone up so much. And we're hoping in the next few years, it'll drastically drop. But right now, we're making budgets out to 2027, and we are increasing almost by 25% in every budget that we have, because prices are getting crazy. And I think that's the biggest thing I felt from COVID is that one, you can't just do things anymore. I couldn't go into a space and be like, okay, we're going to do this, and this. There's always somebody there with you. There's always somebody, you're running into a lot more roadblocks. And then two, price. I think those are the biggest things that came out of COVID.
Yeah. I think we've come back from it from people and like interactions and things like that. As you guys said, like we don't see the masks. We don't see that like people aren't scrubbing down all of their doorknobs and like the grocery carts and all of that kind of stuff.
The toilet paper.
Yeah. Yeah. Toilet paper is readily available.
Yeah.
But you're right. I feel like it changed some inner workings that I don't think we can ever put back. I
think people are just more cautious in general.
Say that again?
I think people are just more cautious in general, not only with health, but in every aspect. I mean, I get roadblocks for fire code. I get roadblocks for, obviously these are important things, but intoxication that I didn't get before. I get like, we have to shut down the bar after 2 hours. I get that we can't have food out. With like food safety laws are obviously so important, but things that I wouldn't have run into before are now strict, which is good. Things should be strict, but it's definitely different than anything I did pre-COVID.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting.
So you said you had a interesting story about a drunk man.
Yeah, I was a drunk woman, which is even better. So the casino company that we bring in to do the casino night I had a few weeks ago, I am really close with the guy who owns it because I use him for a lot of my events. And he's just an overall great guy. And he brings his sons with him. And his sons are these like cute little 17-year-old boys, and women eat them.
You just dated yourself, Allie. You just dated yourself. Oh my gosh.
I know. And these women eat these little boys up. They love them. And oh no, these are like 40-year-old women, but it's 40-year-old women who have just, these are the lawyers. So people have gone to school for way too long. But after the fact, we were cleaning up our stuff and the casino company was cleaning up their stuff. And I was talking to Scott, who's the owner, and he goes, we got to tell you something that happened last year, which I also did this event last year. And I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? Tell me. And he was like, my son was dealing to these 2 women, and he was like, yeah, and they just kept passing him tips, and like he's like, he went out of the night with like $800 worth of tips because these women were against each other in trial, but they wanted to play against each other on this game table, so they were like slipping him tips, like having him like do other things. And then you would think, because these people are like top-notch Houston lawyers, that they would act appropriately. No, they, and I do not say this word, but apparently the woman was calling the other professional lawyer the C word across the table at this like very formal event. And I'm like, if I would have known that, I would have had to like kick her out. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, and then I like had a realization. It never stops. It never ends. These people never stop being like that.
Wow.
And it's a case like that in every event like that I have. And it's always alcohol, which is obviously always alcohol, but it's always an instance of somebody who drinks too much. And I think that's the biggest roadblock I always run into is, where's the line? Where is the line of, yes, you're drunk, but somebody's going to get you home safe. You're fine. You can stay. And you need to get an Uber and you need to leave now. Like, where is the line there?
And why is like, that your job? Oof.
Yeah, it's probably my least favorite part of the job, but it falls on me because liability falls on me. So if that person gets in a car and they drive and they get in an accident, though I won't be the first person it comes back to, it will come back to me eventually. So making sure that everyone's safe when they leave, making sure people are in Ubers, those kinds of things. And unfortunately, also something you have to deal with is sexual harassment when that happens. So really the line is, are they a danger to themselves? Are they a danger to the people, not only people out of the event, but the people when they leave? especially when we're at hotels, because a lot of these events happen on the second, third floor. Are they going to walk and try to walk into somebody else's guest room? They're going to have to walk through the lobby to get home. Are they walking into, the lobby bar after they leave me to go drink? Which then I actually love when they do that, because the liability is now not on me. It's on the lobby bar. So just like a lot of things that like I had to think about now that I, going to an event, would never think about.
Yeah. Wow. That's wow. Well,
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Amber, I know you're hidden, but do you have any questions?
She sent us some, and I have one thing that I would love to just kind of wrap up with. But if Amber doesn't have anything, I know Amber's kind of hidden tonight.
I'm here. Hello. I was gonna say, Liz, have you peeped her cup yet?
I know, I saw! It was the Stanley like Barbie one. I know!
So I am not a part of the Stanley cult, but I went to Target a few weeks ago and I walked by it and I was like, I will regret this for the rest of my life. I don't buy this cup. So I bought it.
So now that we have picked your brain and, you're actually home tonight, so I don't want to keep you way too long. I just wanted to say that there are many times where I am upstairs at my desk working and I find these little notes that say, if you're reading this, you probably need to take a break, or I still find them in my desk and I leave them right where they were. So the next time I open my desk, I can have another little Allie note.
Oh, that's so cute.
Your imprint is like forever with us. I think, as I said earlier, I will always picture you in your red fancy boots.
Yeah.
And Muddy and Allie looked cute, and I was like, I will never pull that off in my life. So we missed you a lot, but I'm always happy in my heart that I know that you've taken a little piece of us, and hopefully it's not when something's broken, but
hopefully a flower snob.
Yeah, that sounds like a
Yeah, I definitely am. I think that's the biggest takeaway, is I look at the bouquet and I'm like, could have done better.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being a guest tonight, and
thank you guys for having me.
Miss you.
Yeah.
Oh, we miss you guys too.
For sure. Yeah, we'll have to come crash at your place one day when you're home and be like, okay, here, show us cool stuff.
Yeah.
You can visit. Austin's so fun, so cool, and I'll be home for Christmas. Hopefully, we'll see.
Isn't that isn't Austin now becoming one of the music centers? I've heard.
So it was the live musical capital of the world, but you can't go anywhere and listen to live music anymore. I think Nashville has totally taken that over.
Oh yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Interesting.
Everywhere you go, it's like one thing after another.
Yeah. Austin used to be like a really small city, and it's grown so much in the last like few years that it's very different than like everything before like 2 years ago.
Interesting. Very interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in and listening, and we hope you enjoyed some of the different tidbits from the middle of the U.S., but a little bit lower than other places. But yeah, we've had so much fun, and we will catch you guys next time.
Hey guys, just dropping a line to tell you about Patreon. So I asked them, meaning Mom and Amber, what is Patreon anyway? Because I honestly had no idea. So we're going to explain it to you from our perspective so that you understand and so that I understand.
Because the first time I saw it, I was like, Patron? We're drinking tequila? Great. So Patreon is for less than a cup of coffee, those fancy coffees that y'all like, a day, you can sign up to become one of our members.
A little family.
Exactly. And what does that get us?
It gets us some freebies, some special episodes that other people do not get access to. you can interact with us on a special platform where we can ask you questions and interact with you. It's tons of fun.
And even on those special episodes, we might be less censored than we are already. And we're going to have a couple fun ones that we can just kind of throw in there and talk about and laugh and go on tangents and have fun. So I hope that you all enjoy it because we're going to have fun along the way. We're crazy, crazy, crazy excited.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Back to the episode now. Bye.
Gracias!